In the last tutorial, we built a project from parameters and positioned it approximately. In this tutorial, we'll place the project more precisely and do some basic editing. We'll often move around the project while we're using one of DirectAid's tools. The best way to do this is by using the mouse wheel, which does the same thing in every tool, zooming and panning. To zoom in and out, roll the mouse wheel forward and backward. To pan, press and hold the mouse wheel while you drag the mouse from one place to another. DirectAid supports two methods of panning with the mouse wheel. To change which method you're using, go to View Preferences in the main menu. Change to the Map tab, and check or uncheck Use Alternate Mouse Wheel Pan. For this tutorial, we'll use the alternate method with the box checked. Let's see what existing trails we have to work with. In the layer view, click the checkbox next to the project to hide it for a moment. As you can see, many trails in this area run from northeast to southwest, so we'll rotate our receiver lines to coincide roughly with these trails. As with many actions in DirectAid, this is best accomplished as a step-by-step process. First, we'll rotate the project so the receivers are aligned with existing trails. Then, we'll position the project so it covers our area of interest. Let's get started. Right-click on the project in the layer view and choose Move Selection from the menu. The Move Selection tool can be used to move stations either by hand, by dragging in the map view, or by entering specific values into the tool and clicking the Apply button. For this tutorial, we'll move the project by hand, using the map as a guide. When we click and drag using the Move Selection tool, it does two things. First, it moves the project without rotating it. Second, it defines a fixed point that acts as the center of subsequent rotations. The fixed point is marked with a small green dot. We'll take advantage of the fixed point to align the project with an existing trail in two steps. First, zoom in and move one receiver onto an existing trail. Next, choose a second receiver on the same line, not too close to the first one. Hold the Shift key, then click and drag the second station onto the same existing trail. When you're done, you can release the Shift key. The receiver line should now be lined up approximately with the existing trail. To make things more precise, we can move a station further down the same receiver line. Again, while holding the Shift key, drag a receiver onto the existing trail. The receiver line should now be lined up precisely with the existing trail. The next step is to position the project so it covers our area of interest. In order to avoid renumbering stations later on, we'll want to place the north and east edges close to the edge of the area of interest. Zoom out so you can see the whole project, then click and drag to move it in the map view. Next, we'll trim the project to the desired boundary. To do this, we'll use the Select Area tool. We're going to use the Select Area tool to delete groups of stations that are outside the project boundary. Once again, we do this a bit at a time. First, Let's delete the stations on the north side of the project, being careful to leave a margin of about 1 box width. It's easier to delete stations than it is to add them, and this margin will give us options for detailed trimming later on. With the left mouse button, click in the map view to define a polygon. When you're done, double-click on the last point to close the polygon and select stations within that area. Hit the Delete key, then click Yes to confirm the operation. Repeat this process for any stations outside the project boundary. When you're done, close the Select Area tool. Now that we've done some rough trimming, notice that the edges of the project have a lot of incomplete source and receiver salvos. These incomplete salvos can result in geometric imprinting, so we recommend removing them. To do this, we can use the Delete Hangers tool. Right-click on the project and choose Delete Hangers from the menu. Click Select to highlight all of the incomplete salvos. Then, click Delete to delete them. You may need to use the tool a second time if the first pass creates new hangers. Finally, we'll clean up the project boundary by hand. What rules you follow will depend on the precise intent of the project boundary. For this tutorial, we'll delete any boxes which lie more than half outside the project boundary. To do this, we'll use the Select Objects tool. Like the Select Area tool, the Select Objects tool includes a selection mode which can be used to control what kinds of objects are selected. By default, the tool selects individual stations. However, when we're cleaning up the boundary of the project, it's a bit faster if we select Complete Salvos. Click on the Selection Mode drop-down list and choose Select Salvos. Now, clicking in the map view will select Complete Salvos, including the selected station. To add to the selection, hold the Control key while clicking on a new salvo. To delete the selected stations, hit the Delete key on your keyboard, then click Yes to confirm the operation. Let's go ahead and clean up the boundary of this project. When you're done, close the Select Objects tool. Our project is now rotated and trimmed to the area of interest. In the next tutorial, we'll move stations to account for existing trails and other cultural features.